you're maybe going to hate me for saying this, but in reading through this, what I was thinking the most is, as you've heard Nicole Sachs say many times, this is an epidemic of fear. This is not an epidemic of pain. This is an epidemic of fear. And another thing from another one-on-one client session that I'm thinking about is a conversation that we had about how we've talked about in this group. We've talked about how there's, in relation to like the addiction model, there's the substance part of things, and then there's the behavior part, right? So the substance is the food and the behavior is eating. And so we have all different kinds of relationships to all different, manifestations of it and components of it. But one of the things that I was talking about with this other client was that it's not actually the behavior that's a problem. And it's not the substance that's a problem. Eating is not a problem. I think we could all agree. Eating is not the problem, right? Similarly, food, not the problem. What's the problem? What perpetuates this cycle? Why is it that we can't get out? Not because the behavior and the substance, because of the judgment of the behavior and the substance. Meaning, let's say you binged on food. You ate a lot of really crappy food. Okay. If you have that experience and it's no judgment, you binged on food, neutral. No fear, no panic, no stress, no judgment, no shame, no regret, no guilt, nothing. It's neutral. You binged on food. You had an experience. And if it were that, I binged on food. Okay. And there were no fear, what would happen? Right? It would be a lot easier to say, okay, tomorrow's another day. The reason that we stay in this kind of cycle is because the judgment of the food, of the substance and the behavior is so extreme and so intense around, this is so bad and so scary and I have to do something about it, and there's a sense of urgency around it. We immediately go into this fight or flight of panic, and it's just more of the same. This is an epidemic of fear, not an epidemic of pain. It's the same exact thing. And so whether it's the summer scaries or you notice that you're full, but you keep eating, whatever version of it is, at the bottom line, you panicking about it becomes the problem. Because when you're panicking about it, you can't do shit. You can't do anything about it. And panicking about it only increases the likelihood that it happens again. And this is where, for me, it goes back to the amount of times I've heard people say, right, with chronic pain, but I want my pain to be gone. But I want it to be gone, but I want it to be gone, right? And every time the answer is, I know you do. I really, really know you do. And it's so valid that you do. And you panicking about your pain is not going to help it go away. And it's the same kind of thing. That is, I hear you. All of it is valid. And the panic will keep it where it is, if not make it worse. And so it's the same kind of thing. That is, when you want to say, but I need this to stop. Great. You need it to stop. Feel your fear, go through that, but don't keep yourself there. And definitely try not to act out of that behavior, not act out of that energy of fear and panic and stress and guilt and shame and all of that. The first thing you want to do is get yourself out of fear, and not invalidate your fear, but feel your fear, go through the experience of it, and then know that it's time to get out of it. The same way that it works with chronic pain, that is, you can be afraid that you're going to be in chronic pain every day for the rest of your life. You can be afraid of that. But if you mope around in that energy, I'm going to have chronic pain for the rest of my life, you may.